Hey, Mike V, I don't take nothing away from you, baby. You're one of the top gun sales guys in this business. There's no doubt the way you market your company is genius, is fresh. You got great ideas, and your evolution in motion in this industry. There is no doubt. But let me. I agree with everything that you said there. There's only one thing that I wouldn't agree with. Some of my mentors, when I took personal selling as a professor named Ford, and he's passed away, but he actually opened a very successful franchise. And two of the other guest speakers that he had also come went on to open $1 million operations in franchising, which were guys that were that at the time in my life I really looked up to, and these were regular guys. And you've got to imagine this going through some of those guys that I was sitting with in that course over. Oh man, it's been 29 years ago now. Where the networking there was invaluable for me, and the information that I sucked out of these guys was invaluable. And to this day, there's a tip that they taught me from what the Carney brothers used, the guys who started Pizza Hut, and I still use that to this day. As a matter of fact, my salespeople are required to do it twice a week, and that information is not in. It's not in a book. It's only obtained sometimes through mentoring with these guys and networking with these guys. It's just fantastic ability. I don't know if you had some bad experiences and went to try to take some of these things. And one of the reasons, really quick, is that's why, if you noticed in there, I asked him. I said, "Hey, call the instructor and see who the guest speakers are." Any of these courses at the JC level, if they're not having at least 2 to 3 guys that are pros come in and actually talk to the class, I would recommend that you don't take it. Because you're right, it's that Rodney Dangerfield mentality of back to school type thing, where these are people that want to be entrepreneurs but have never actually done it. Well, in my case, I was very fortunate. The instructor that I had went on, and he was very successful in he was building businesses. And a lot of times you'll find out that sometimes these professors, it's not all that they do. They just have a passion for the teaching and the instruction, but they also are very involved in being entrepreneurs in the real world. It's not like the movie Back to School, where Rodney Dangerfield's the student basically telling the instructors that they have no real world experience. A lot of these guys do, and that's why I said you may call them up and ask them their credentials and what they've done. That's always a plus. I mean, just get a resume from them. But I don't downplay that, especially when a JC class now. Back then they were only a few $100s. I can't imagine they're more than 300 or 400 now. And you're talking about 8 weeks, 8 9 week deal. I can't imagine if it was a mini course and it was 7 weeks and you paid $300 for it. Invaluable information. You're in there with other guys that want to learn, the sharing, the knowledge, things that work for them, tricks, trades, all that stuff. I don't know. I would recommend it to anybody, especially guys that are fresh. Maybe they worked a job for the last 10 or 15 years, or maybe they're like Scrappy and they're young and they don't know. That's where Scrappy's getting a lot of this information. He's not sucking all this information off guys on BBSs, or even digging his nose in books. He's resourcing and picking everybody's brain that he possibly can. I know, because he's picked my brain. He's picked Russ Spence's brain. He's picked Mike Hilborn's brain. He's been out there picking brains. He's picked Daryl Mercer's brain. Only problem is that what he doesn't really understand is that a lot of these guys are not giving him all the puzzles, all the pieces to the puzzle, and he's getting partial pieces to some of the things that he does, and that's why sometimes I don't want to try to say I'm trying to guide him, but I'm trying to steer him in it. Sometimes he's got partial uh, things he's trying to implement where, uh, and I'll give you an example. Um, he was talking about it's time to get your marketing program in place because spring is almost here. Brother, if I had a seasonal business and spring was almost here, and Mike, I'm talking to you, you were working on your marketing plan for the spring. I know you were in October. You're not starting it now. You're not starting next month. You've already had it laid out, planned, and if not potentially even already executed it. I know you. I know that that's a fact. And these are the things that sometimes when DJ, I have a lot of respect for DJ. Don't get me wrong. DJ is saying, guys, get on the bandwagon now. Spring's almost here. He's misinformed. My business, my marketing is already done for 2011, was done 6 months ago, and we're working on 2012 and how we're going to continue to uh, evolve the processes of what we're doing now into 2012, and it's not even 2011 yet. I don't think that anyone in a business can think 3 months, 6 months in advance. You have to have long term goals and a plan laid out, and you have to follow those plans. And yes, you do have to change because things sometimes do change. But the campaign overall is going to stay the same. And these are the type of things when to try not to make this a 10-minute video here. These are the type of things that DJ specifically somewhat needs to fine tune. And I know he will. He'll figure it out. He's young. We all ran around chasing our tails when we were young too, full of vim and vigor. And you think sometimes that just getting out there and getting after it is what it is, and it really isn't, because when you realize that sales is not a numbers game, is when you've really mastered the art.